Shalom, shalom. This is the prayer of Azariah, man. It's one of my favorite books. You get time, you should, read the prayer of Azariah. It's heavy, man. But that first chapter, right? It says, and they walked in the midst of the fire, praising Yahweh and blessing the Lord, right? Man, it's just that alone, man. You going through the most. I'll be going through the most. I know brothers be going through the most, but it's something about that fire that the Lord, he just, I don't know, man. You would call it crazy, but the Lord loved putting his sons and his daughters through that fire, man. He want to see how much adversity they're going to take for this truth to prove they love. It says, and they walk in the midst of the fire, praising Yahweh. Wow, man. The hottest part of the fire, bro. The Lord is putting his servants through the hottest part of the fire. He's saying, if they going to praise him in the midst of it, man. In the midst of all this, circumstances and bills and work and, marital problems and, this and that and this, demons and tumults and Esau, man. Will you block all that out, that heat, and still praise the Most High, man? And it's like J. Cole said, man, it's beauty in the struggle, man. It's beauty in the struggle, man. Man, he said, for I know when I'm tried, right? I'm gonna get that precept. Let me see what we got. It's a precept. Here it go. It's Job chapter 23 and 10. But he knoweth the way that I take, and when he have tried me, I shall come forth as gold, man. You see that? So Job was going, man, brothers ain't going through as much as Job was going through, but he was going through that flame. Job was going through the blue flame. We might go through the orange. Some brothers might, get the red. Job was in the blue flame. But Job understood. He was walking through the midst of this flame, still praising the Most High. He said, but he knoweth the way that I take. Job was saying, damn, man, the Lord is in control. He know the way that I take. Job was saying, man, this is crazy, but the Lord is in control. I trust him. When I'm tried, he says it's got a purpose. Job knew that adversity that he was going through, that struggle was all for a purpose. It wasn't for naught. When he have tried me, I shall come forth as gold. He knew what he was going through was all to make him better, man. And that's what we have to do. That's the only way you can walk through the midst of this flame, praising Yahweh, man. You got to know. That's what faith is. When you go to the biblical definition of faith, is trust. A lot of people don't even know what faith is. It's just trust. It's trust in your God that he has the best plan. He has the best answer. He has the cheat code, right? He knows what's best for you and I. I'm going to get another precept, It's the book of Sirach, chapter 2, verse 1. It says, my son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation, right? So if you set your mind, to serve the Lord, you're going to leave the things of the world, you're going to start afresh, a new path. The Lord said, prepare your soul for temptation. You got to prepare yourself for a test, a trial. Prepare yourself for heat. Prepare yourself to be, tempted on every level. Especially one of the greatest tests in this truth, which was for me, am I doing the right thing? Because when I came into this truth, all hell broke loose, man. You'll hear the devil say, man, you sure you're doing the right thing? Would it really be this tough if you was doing what God told you to do? You know what I mean? It says, my son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. Set thy heart aright, mean make your mind. Of course you're doing the right thing. You keeping the commandments. Didn't the Lord say keep the commandments? That's what you're trying to do with all your heart. You're trying to do the things that's pleasing to the Most High. He said, if you love me, keep my commandments. Right? Of course you doing the right thing. You loving your neighbor now. You know, you putting down this sin. You putting down that sin. Right? You breaking off the shackles of sin. Of course you're doing the right thing. It's just separating you. It's making you holy. You know, and a part of that process of becoming holy, hey, it's a violent process because it's separation. Anything that you separate it's really not a pretty process. It's an ugly process. It's a violent because you tearing. You're really ripping. The Lord is ripping you apart from this world. A lot of time he rip you apart from your family. Right? He rip you apart from the things that you was once associated with so you can be holy. Right? He says, set thy heart aright and constantly endure, because that's tough, man, because a lot of this is the unknown. You walking in uncharted territory. It's uncomfortable. It's unfamiliar. You know, so you have to endure these things that we've never been through. You ain't never been through the things that you're going through now, you know, but you got to constantly, this is the right path, right? It's not a lot of footsteps on this path. So you can't just fight, you know, this is the road least traveled. You got to trust the Lord, man. It says, and make not haste in time of trouble. You know, don't run back, man. That's what we want to do in the wilderness, man. Soon as trouble arose, we want to go back to Egypt. Jake, why are you trying to go back to the world? I know it was easy when, you know, you could just, you know, make a phone call, you know, get this and that, whip this up and whip that up, and, you know, you make your move real quick. That's easy, man. No, man, go through this fire. It says, cleave unto him and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last. And we have Job. You know, we have Job. That's why the Lord gave us Job. That's why he gave us Joseph. That's why he gave us Moses. That's why he gave us Yahweh Shai. That's why he gave us Jacob. For examples, man. Look at their beginning and see. Watch them trust the Lord. Watch Joseph get so betrayed by his brothers, you know, into slavery. You know, watch Joseph look at his brothers, and, you know, the brothers who he grew up with, the brothers that he loved, and listen to him. His brothers say, let's kill him. You know, how much do you think that hurted? Yeah, it hurts when your people betray you. Let's kill him. Let's kill her. You know, we all been betrayed. That had to hurt. Let's kill him. Let's shed his blood, and let's say he got attacked by a wild animal. Man, he's in a dungeon down there crying, listening to his brothers plotting on him, man. That's heavy, man. But look, and then they sold him to slavery. In slavery, he's still trusting the Lord, doing the best he can do. He done worked himself up all the way to second command. And then here come this woman talking about he raped me. Look at that. Look how many times Joseph could have gave up. And then they throw him in prison. And a lot, you know, people read that story like Joseph was in prison, you know, 10 days or 6 months. Man, Joseph was in prison a lot of years, man. He was in prison a lot of years. But he still did it with a cheerful conscience, man. The amount of trust, Joseph wasn't giving up on that dream, man, that the Lord gave him, that vision, you know. And you have to keep your eyes on the prize. You got to keep your eyes on the kingdom, man. This kingdom, you know, this kingdom is passing away, and the kingdom of heaven is approaching. You know, go through this fire, right? It says, for verse 4, whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to a lower state. You know, the Lord said He's gonna humble you. You have to be humble, right? Because when you humble, all that damn dross, all that bad stuff come up out of you, man. That's when you want to get prideful. That's when you want to get angry. That's when you want to cheat. That's when you want to steal. That's when you want to be malicious, right? When you get in that lower state. Because that flesh gonna want to weigh out, trying to plot and scheme. You got to subdue that damn flesh, man. You know, it says, for gold is tried in the fire, an acceptable man in the furnace of adversity. You know, that fire, man, it's a fire. It's a cleaning agent, you know. The Lord is using that to purify us, man. It's a precept on that. Let me get this. It's in Numbers, I believe. Numbers. So lock it real quick. Bear with me. Come. This is Numbers 31 and 23. It says, everything that may abide the fire, ye shall make it go through the fire. Right? So any and everything that can go through this fire, the Lord's going to put it through the fire. And it shall be clean. That's the whole part, man. You know, every one of us got to go through this. Our works, you know, have to be tested, man. And the thing about it, you got to go through this thing without murmuring and complaining. Jake think you the only one that's going through something. How selfish. How selfish. We are all suffering. We are all suffering, but how selfish for you to think that you done box yourself in and think that you, out of all the billions of people on the earth, that you the only one that's going through something, man. No, all God's children are suffering, man. Your brother is suffering like you. Your sister, you know, all the children are suffering the like, you know, as we are. Right? I'm gonna get this last precept, you know. But the thing is, you know, what's that in Peter? I'm gonna get this real quick. This ain't gonna be too long. It ain't gonna be too long. Right. I'm gonna get this. I'm gonna get 1 Corinthians verse 10 and 10. 1 Corinthians verse 10 and 10. It says, neither murmur ye, as some of them also murmured, and were destroyed of the destroyer. Now all these things happen unto them for examples, and they are written for our admonition, upon whom the ends of the worlds are come. Right? So we can't murmur, because the Lord sent the destroyer to kill those that murmur and complain. Hey man, look at the riches that the Lord has given us, man. Look how far the Lord has put us above our enemies already. You know, spiritually, even now. You know, we might be on the bottom of the society, but when it comes to spiritual and spiritual things and knowledge, you can see we're far above these pastors, these preachers, these Edomites, and the 2/3. You can see, you know, night and day, we're far above them in spiritual things, the things, the riches that truly matter. It's just, you know, the physical manifestation hasn't come yet. We're going to get there. We're going to get those new bodies. Why? We're going to get a new heaven, a new earth, you know, ruled in righteousness, most high willing. You know, we're a part of that. You know, wait on these things, man. We most high willing, we going to get it. We're going to get the kingdom, and we're going to put these people under our feet. We're going to put our feet on their damn necks, man. That's what we're going to do. And we got to think about those things, right? I'm going to get this. And then I'm going to end it. This is damn, my damn phone moving slow. Hold on real quick. This is Acts 14 and 22. It says, confirming the souls of the disciples. Actually, I'm gonna get 21. Now, I'm gonna show you what the disciples was doing. It says, when they had preached the gospel to that city, so they was busy doing the work, man. You know, they was going through a lot, but you know, they was still preaching. That just shows you how much love they had. It's a different type of love when you can go through what you need to go through and still have enough love to help somebody else go through what they got to go through. And that's the example that Yahweh Shah left to the disciples, and that's the example that they left for us. Verse 21, and when they had preached the gospel to that city and had taught many, they returned to Lystra and to Iconium and to Antioch. And these brothers was on fire, man. City to city to city, right? Verse 22, confirming the souls of the disciples and exhorting them. You know, you got to be a strong brother to go through what you got to go through and still have enough strength to encourage somebody else. That's a mighty man, you know. Confirming the souls of the disciples and exhorting them to continue in the faith, and that we must, Salaki, and that we must through much tribulation enter into the kingdom of Yahweh. Yeah, that's how we're going to get the kingdom, through much tribulation. And I'm gonna look up that definition, and then I'm gonna end it here. It says tribulation, a cause of great trouble or suffering. With that, I want to give all praise to Yahweh. Shalom.